Hey guys, it's Mark from Migraine Professional. I used to suffer from migraines and headaches until about 5 years ago when I figured out how to beat them, and I've been migraine free ever since. Now I teach other people how to do the same, and in this video, I'm going to be answering the question, what is the best medicine for migraines and headaches? And so it's really important for us to understand that migraines are multifactorial. Migraine is such a large and broad scope of symptoms, and diseases and conditions and experiences, and so many different types of people experience it. Migraines are multifactorial. There are a number of different factors that go into it, and the factors that apply to another person may not apply to you. So they are all different, and so there is no magic pill for migraines. That does not exist because of how broad migraines are. But that doesn't mean that there is not something like a magic pill for your migraines. So when you address the underlying issue that is causing your body to have to express these symptoms that are called migraine, generally symptoms go away and you feel better, your body feels better. It has no need to express the symptoms that it is presenting with at this moment. So you always want to make sure that you're addressing yourself multifactorially. Okay, so where one person, they might have high histamine levels, high tyramine levels, they're having problems breaking them down. You, for example, you might have an autoimmune condition. You might be eating foods that are aggravating your nervous system, that are causing antibodies to attack your brain and your nervous system tissue, and this is triggering the pain. So it's a very different problem, but at the end of the day, you both might be experiencing quote unquote migraines or things that present like migraines. So you always want to ask yourself, you'll want to ask your body, what would your body do? Because your body is different than another person's body. In the book Biochemical Individuality, there's a large number of differences between people, and even just between family members. There can be as much as 1,000% difference in ability to detoxify certain chemicals. So you always want to take this into account and understand that your body is the one that knows best what it functions best on, what it functions worst on. It knows what aggravates it. It knows what helps it grow and sustain itself. It knows what stresses it out and what helps turn off that stress mechanism and go into its rest and digest mechanism. It knows what foods feed it right and feed it properly and balance its blood sugar and feed its hormones. And then it knows what foods aggravate its gut, tear up its gut lining, throw it into a flare, and take away from its resources and its ability to heal. So you always want to make sure you're asking your body, what would your body do? You're tuning in, you're stopping. And this is why things like mindfulness and meditation are so important. It's not just because it has become a fad in recent years, but because this has been used for hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of years as a way for clearing out all the clutter, all the distraction, so that you can listen to what your body is saying, so that you can hear what it's saying, and so that you can respond appropriately to it. It's one of the reasons. So, the best medicine for you is one that makes you whole, that is whole in its approach, and it makes you whole, that makes you stronger, that makes you healthier, and that makes you younger. So it is not simply something that takes away your pain and makes the symptom of the disease go away. Just because the symptom of the disease is gone does not mean that there is not the disease process is still not going on below the surface, that there still isn't a destructive process and tissues that are breaking down and cells that are not functioning properly. So you always want to make sure that you're addressing yourself as a whole. You're addressing yourself from all of the different areas. You're addressing yourself in the stresses that are coming in, how you're responding to those stressors, and the energy that you're putting out into the world. And so when you're addressing yourself as a whole, you will become stronger. You will respond better to exercise. You will respond better to food. You will respond better to social situations, cultural situations, to mental and emotional growth. You'll be healthier. You will have more energy. Your hormones will feel much better. You will respond better to situations and react better to situations in the real world. And you will be younger. Your biological age can actually repair itself. You can become biologically younger. Your telomeres on the ends of your genes and your DNA can actually grow longer if you are taking a whole approach where you're addressing your body as a whole and you're fixing the actual mechanisms that are going into dysfunction and causing these symptoms to have to appear. So you always want to make sure that you're addressing it as a whole. And some of the biggest factors that determine that, and the biggest areas that you want to look at, I mean, there's always more, but some of the biggest ones include your gut. Your gut, as we know, the gut is the root of disease or the root of resilience. So you always want to make sure you're addressing the gut. Migraine sufferers do not get their gut tested often enough. You got to get your gut tested. If you need help with that, just send me a message. Environment. Our environment has become very different from the environment of 100 to even 1,000 years ago. The environment from 1,000 years ago is the one that we lived with for millions of years. So with this different environment, we have very different stressors and we have much more toxicity coming in through our environment. So if we have a genetic predisposition to not be able to detoxify something, or if we're in a situation where we're taking on excessive loads of toxins, then the environment is clogging our body up and sending systems into disrepair. If you saw our video on the 7 neurotoxins, you'll know things like lead and mercury will destroy your brain, destroy your mental functioning. Then diet. Diet is so understated and undealt with, and it's so powerful. It's such a powerful place to begin. You always want to make sure that you're addressing your diet and you're dealing with someone who knows how to address your diet specifically for your symptoms, for migraines, for what's going on with you. And then hydration. You want to stay hydrated. You want to make sure you get the best hydration. Because you might only eat a pound or 2 or 3 of food, but you'll drink lots and lots of water every day. You should be drinking lots of water every day because your brain needs it, your vertebrae needs it, you're electrical, and you need that moisture in your tissues to drive electricity through them. Then, of course, exercise. Exercise not only does it help pump our body and detoxify, but it also helps us regulate all of our biological oscillators. It helps us reduce pain levels and desensitize our nervous system if we're developing central sensitization, things like that. And then, of course, supplementation. You want to talk with someone who is well versed in supplementing for the situations that you're going through. If your digestion is compromised, you can easily supplement to help support your digestion, fix your digestion, and support it that way. So you want to make sure that you're talking to someone, you're dealing with someone who's educated on what to do for you and what to do for, let's say, migraines and headaches. And then mindfulness, like we talked about, becoming mindful of our patterns. We tend to have a migraine pattern. So this is a pattern of thoughts or feelings that start to roll and spiral and spiral and spiral. And it's almost like an unconscious pattern that eventually develops so much tension within our body that it pushes us over the threshold and we trigger. So having a mindfulness practice is a great way for us to notice, for us to stop, and for us to stop responding or sort of more reacting, stop reacting to our environment and instead start responding to it in a conscious way. So we're not running this stressful tension into our bodies. And then, of course, lifestyle. Lifestyle is massive, but it's so underutilized for its ability to help our brain repair, our gut repair, our emotions repair, to help all of our tissues deal with stress better and to take the stress off of them. Then, of course, stress. You want to make sure that you have techniques to deal with your stress, so you're not just at the mercy of what is going on in your life, but you are actively taking those challenges on and you have tools to deal with them. And then, of course, lab testing. A lot of lab testing is very minimal. because generally we have very little access to headache specialists, and especially integrated specialists for us. So integrated specialists look at our body as a whole. They look at our body as one functioning organism where all of its parts are combined and interconnected, and they all function off of each other, which is how our body works. This often isn't the case, and we don't get the proper lab testing, and this is when we run into problems. And then of course, specifics. You want to have specific things that you can do to take that edge off, and to take that the strain off of your body that may just be triggering you in that moment. And then that'll give you some clarity, some free space so that you can address those underlying factors that are just kind of brewing below the surface and developing that disease state. So that's kind of what we do at Migraine Professional. We help you kind of figure out what is going on with your body. We give you specific things and specific resources and tools, and we teach you how to go about addressing your body, and we give you the tools to deal with all of the different areas, because it's really important to look at yourself as a whole and approach yourself as a whole, because not only can you recover from your headaches, but you can become much more fulfilled as a human. You can become much healthier and happier and live a better life with your family by addressing yourself as a whole. And so it just starts with a few little steps here and there, and then you build yourself and you build your health, and you get out of the situation. So let me know in the comments below, what have you found is the best thing that you have done for your migraines and headaches? Thanks. Hey, it's Mark from MigraineProfessional.com. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe in the bottom left corner, and if you want to learn more about migraines and headaches than you've ever known before, and understand what causes them, what creates them, and what you can do about them, make sure to go to MigraineProfessional.com. Thanks.